When I first decided that I wanted to get out of the £100,000 worth of debt that was put up against my name, I knew I was going to have to make some rather significant changes in my life and in my lifestyle to make sure that I got there, because I was doing the same things over and over and didn't feel like I was getting very far at all. So I had to sit down, and one of the biggest things that I did psychologically and emotionally was take the first step was to take a proper look, a real look at everything that was up against my name in terms of debt. So it started with opening the letters that I completely been ignoring because I didn't want to have to face it. I didn't want to have to see it in writing. I'm in a way, by having it locked away in letters, and then it's almost like it's not there, but actually it is, and it's only going to get worse by not opening those letters and looking at the numbers. I think that is definitely one of the biggest steps that people have, or the biggest fear that people have, is facing it head on. But they do always say to face your fears head on, and that is definitely one of the things that has helped me progress and get to the end of where I'm going to be. Quite often we just ignore these things and we think they're not happening, but in reality then several months down the line, you know, we think, oh, how did I get here, kind of thing. So that is the first thing you absolutely need to do to make sure you're getting yourself completely out of debt. So taking a very real look at everything that you are actually owing would be the starting point for anything, because actually if you don't know those real numbers, there's no way you can go forward, because you can't then start to see the progress that you're going to be making. And yes, it might feel like really small steps, small little bits of progress, and you're thinking, oh, I've only paid a few pounds off this month, or I've only got £10 to put towards my debt. Actually, if you're doing that several times a week, if you're saving £10 a week and putting it towards debt, £10 a week every single week, it's £520. So when you think, like, I've just got £10, that doesn't feel like it's going a whole lot of places, but if you can put then £520, then that'll be an absolutely massive step, and you'll start to make some real notice in any debts that you've got. The next thing is to keep a track of absolutely everything that you are spending. So you need to make sure that you're doing what I would call mindful spending. So as soon as you get paid every month or every bi-week or whatever it is you get paid, start to then make a plan for where that money's going to go. So say if you've got £1,000 every single month, rather than just mindlessly tapping in the grocery store, mindlessly tapping online or wherever it is that you prefer to shop, have a plan for that money. So decide, right, I've got £1,000, I need to feed myself, or I might need to feed my family. How much can I afford to split my money to do that well? So I might say budget £400, £300 for groceries. So automatically that's put to one side, you are now left with the £600, and then decide, oh, where's that £600 intentionally going to go? Again, not just whimsically tapping. You don't have to physically do the cash stuffing system or take your cash out, because it doesn't always work for everyone, because I know there's a lot of cashless systems in place in our, in our world. But as long as you're intentionally buying and intentionally spending, and then once you know that allocation has gone, then it's gone, and then there should be no more. You've just got to have sort of put the brakes on and be quite intentional with that. So the next thing I would say to you is to reward yourself, but do it at the end. So if you've ever seen any of my videos, or if you're brand new here, I put myself a budget for every single month. So I'll say, right, I've got my set amount of money, whatever that might be. I plan it and put it in my certain allocations. Mine primarily are groceries, petrol or travel, and then I've got things for social events, whether it's for myself or my children, things whether I want to spend on beauty, or, you know, depends on what we've got going on, depends where we're at. So I have those, but I'll still try and be really, really conservative at the start of the month. So I'll plan for the whole month, and then as a week by week basis, I'll go along, and that will change. It won't always be the same day every single week, because we might have a really quiet week, we might have a really busy week, but it's there or thereabouts. And it's another sort of byproduct is your budget's got to work for you. It can't be rigid. You've got to have some flexibility, because it's not like an all or nothing. It has to be on this day at this prescribed time. You know, if that helps and that works for you, that's great. But realistically, life doesn't always work that way, and there's not exactly 28 days in every single month of the year. So you've got to have a little bit of flexibility. But I'll try and be quite conservative at the start of the month, and then as I get towards the end of the month, if I've got quite a bit left over to play with, so to speak, then I might give myself a bigger amount to be able to spend. And in the same way, if you want to do something similar to that, you can, I know a lot of people would say, like, oh, it's payday, I can go and get myself some new shoes, or it's payday, I'm going to treat myself to whatever, I've been looking forward to. Make sure that everything else is paid for, budgeted for, and then at the end of the month, not at the start of the month when you first get paid, at the end of the month when everything else has been finalised and sorted, if there is that money left, then you can possibly treat yourself to those new shoes or whatever else it is you think you were working towards. And it maybe not be that month. Maybe you can save half the money from one month and then the other half, and do you know what, you'll feel so much better for being able to do that as well. So having a little bit to one side each month, do it over 2 months, do it over 3 months, whatever's going to work for you and your budget, but also make sure that you're not getting yourself further into debt whilst you do it. The other thing I would say is to write down absolutely everything that you spend. So this kind of goes hand in hand with what I've just been saying already with your intentional spending and intentional planning. If you've allocated yourself that money, you then need to go, well, how did that work out for me? Because when I first started doing this, it's not going to happen straight away. It took a good 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 months to find yourself in the right place, in the right system. One of the questions I get asked is, how do I start this when like I'm already in negative amount, or I've not already got myself in that position? How do I start it? They want like an instant fix right now, and I'll be honest with you, you're not going to get an instant fix right now. That's not going to happen. You need to then go, well, I can start it this month a little bit, and I'll start to do it with, maybe you'll just do it with groceries and reduce that amount, and then you'll find that yourself has a little bit more money at the end of the month, and then you can go, right, I can do it with groceries and I can do it with transport this month. And then it might get to the 3rd month and go, right, great, I've worked, I've managed to save myself a little bit money. It might not be hundreds of pounds, but every little bit, I promise you, does make a difference. And then you might say, well, great, I've done it for my groceries and I've done it for my travel, my transport. Now can I do it for, you know, my social life? Can I do it for my eating out? Can I do it for my takeaways? Whatever is your vices, whatever your things are that you like to spend money on. And eventually it'll sort of catch itself up. And like I say, it might not be instant, it might not be there straight away, but it will get there, I promise you, as long as you're doing everything. And in this way, by writing it down, not only are you doing the intentional budgeting and intentional planning, but you're also becoming more aware of your spending. So you automatically, it becomes addictive. Honestly becomes addictive to save money and not spend it. I now really struggle to spend money even when I've got large amounts. It's like surreal almost that I actually have the money that I could spend on the extreme niceties, the things that I once just threw money away on. And now I don't want to, because your mindset changes. I suppose it's like starting a diet. You know, you cut out the cream cakes one week, and then you might cut out the chocolate next, then you might cut out the wine, and eventually when you think, I've got down to my goal weight, I could have that, whatever it is, I could have this, I can have a cake, I can have what. But actually, you've trained yourself, you've become so used to living in a certain way, and you don't even feel deprived, but you'll feel happier. You don't want to go back to that original way that you have. So those are my main top tips for today for how you can get yourself out of any massive financial mess that you might feel that you've got in and into. And it can also work towards savings as well, and just doing those things, those little steps, those baby steps over a few months, and you'll soon get to the exact point that you want to do. If you haven't already subscribed but you do like this kind of video, please do let me know. Give me a thumbs up and a comment as well if you would like to. Have yourself an amazing day, and I'll see you really, really soon. Bye.